Okay, so it's time to correct a few more people on a few more things that they've been coming out with and saying that just are not true. And this is coming from an insider's point of view, so pay attention. So it's been coming up for debate quite a lot here recently about some of the failed attempts that the government have been launching these schemes and everything to try and get people back into work. Simply put, it's not working. But I'm here to explain to you why. I'm going to explain to you actually a few things which I have noticed over the past couple of months that people have been saying, coming out with all this rubbish about how easy it is to live on things like Job Seekers Allowance, and people saying about how easy it is to find work. So let's clear a few of those things up right now. For starters, the town that I live in, according to three websites these days, these are two employment agencies. One of them is the new gov.uk something, but it's replacing the government's own job searching website, right? Used to be direct.gov, it got refurbished, it's now something else. But all three of them confirm there are 6 jobs in this town. This town has a population, I think, the last time I read it somewhere a couple of months ago, it's something like just over 70,000 people living here or something like that. So I kind of think there's not enough jobs to go around so everyone can be employed in this town. Do you? 6 between, however many. I think it's something along the lines of now in this town, it's like 2 in every 10 people are unemployed in this town. So there we go. So yeah, so for people who are turning around and saying, "Oh, it's dead easy to find work," where is this work? Where is this work? Because not only are you telling me that it's dead easy to get work, you're also telling a record number of unemployed people that there is enough work for all of us. So please join a recruitment agency as one of their advisors and find us all a job. If the work's out there and these record numbers of people cannot find work, you tell us where the jobs are. Seriously, right, okay. The second thing that people have been pointing out recently is about how easy it is to be living off Job Seekers Allowance. Now, Job Seekers Allowance itself is different to other benefits that a person can be entitled to. For example, if you are still living at home with your parents and you're unemployed, you can get Job Seekers Allowance, but you won't be entitled to the council tax benefit or the housing benefit. You won't be entitled to it at all. I live by myself, so I have to claim the housing benefit, which is basically your rent covered, and the council tax benefit, because that has to be covered. Now, there are reforms which are apparently going ahead, despite thousands of people protesting against it, which is saying that the UK government is going to be reforming the council tax benefit so that people under 25 will no longer be able to claim it. Well, hello, I'm 24, I live by myself. Where the fuck do you want me to get my money from to pay for your council tax? Hello. Or that even if you can claim it, there will be something along the lines of about 20% knocked off of what you're actually entitled to. Well, where the fuck's this 25? Where's this 20% going to come from? So for the first time ever, I'm going to reveal this to you. I've posted it on my Facebook. No one responded. I've replied to people with it on Twitter. No one responds. So I need a response from some people on this, please, because everyone who I show this to, they all of a sudden go very quiet. And I just find that very coincidental. I don't know why. But, so when you claim Job Seekers Allowance every week, you seem to get one of these. I don't even know why. But it's basically, there's a couple of pages to it, and it says about your living expenses, how much the government says that you need to live on. So I'm going to go through this in some detail with you. So this might be quite a long video at this point, unless I can edit it down, which I probably will. Right, okay, so let's start up here at the top. So, it's not very clear at all, actually. So the government say that I need to live on, that's not very clear, is it? That is £56.25 per week. Okay, doable. In my case, when I moved in here, I couldn't really live just within 4 walls and no furniture. So I had to take what is called a social fund loan out. I don't know why they call it that because it's not very social. But so that comes off there. That is the £6.41 per week that is taken off. So that's the only reduction of it. So at the end of that, and as you can see quite clearly here, the amount that I have to live on per week, is that focusing? No, it's not. But it's £49.84 per week. Right. Now, someone said to me the other day that people who are employed sometimes have that to live off. The thing is with being employed is the fact that you are more likely to be offered extra hours in work. You could go and do like Avon, but people watching in America, you probably won't know what Avon is. But you can top up your earnings. You can go and do extra things. Now, if I go and do the extra things, what happens? Does anyone care to say? No, okay. It comes off that. I'm allowed to earn. Now, let me try and get this right. I'm allowed to earn. I think it's up to. No, it used to be £5, and then I think they upped it to like, was it £10 or 20, something like that. But basically, anything over that threshold of. Let's go back to what I know. It used to be a fiver, so £5. Anything I earn over £5 gets deducted off this. So if you're employed and you do extra hours in work, the money that you earn doing those extra hours, does that get deducted off your pay? Oh no, it doesn't. Right. Okay. So we're kind of getting to where we need to be with this one, right? So yeah, so it's easier for someone who's employed to top up their earnings, whether it's taxable or not taxable. It's easier to be done because it doesn't get deducted off them. Oh, where is it now? And to say that a person has £49.84 to live on per week after they've paid their bills, well, yeah, none of us have got tons of money to live off after paying the bills, whether it's, whatever bills it is that they've got to pay. So, yes, so while living here, I do get the, what's it called now? Council tax and the rent one. What's it called? Housing benefit, that's the one. But that is all. See where I'm coming from now? So everything else has got to be paid out of that. Does that seem right? So what I would like you to do is to keep in mind here that you have £49.84 per week to live on. Regardless of the rent and the council tax, I want you to do your own budget in the comment bit below. Look it up. What you need to accommodate for here is food, obviously, cleaning products, maintenance, clothing, haircuts, electricity, gas, water, insurance, TV license, any phone or internet, transport. They're just a few of the things that I would like to keep you, you need to be putting into your budget. Now, obviously, you need to kind of understand how things work here, because on a normal budget that people would think of, they wouldn't normally put in for haircuts, as you can tell here. But you need to put it in because at some point the average person is going to spend some sort of money on a haircut. So you can't just put it at zero, because you're not always going to get your haircut for free if you go to a hair salon. So you need to budget it. Maybe put in something like £1 or £2 a week, something like that, because then after a couple of weeks, you've then saved up enough to get a haircut. You see how that works? Let me run through a few of the things with me. Okay, so per week, I'm actually going to do it per fortnight. And even then, there's still little catches to this. So, per fortnight, I have, what is it now? 99 something, I don't know. So we'll just call it £99 because I can't remember the exact figure as it comes up on my bank statement. So that's all I've got to spend, right? That is per fortnight. So we have 30 for the electric, £15 per week, that is, just on electric. I don't have a gas supply here. It is all done on electric. It is done on a prepayment meter, so there is a daily standing charge. Whether you use electric or not, that has still got to be covered. So you can't put electric in at zero. The water cannot be put onto a meter here because it's a shared supply between the different apartments in the building. So water has to be paid, and that is a standard of £30 per month. But I'm going to explain to you why I put that in at £30 per 2 weeks. Because I do that for one of the 2 weeks, and then if you think about it, on the other 2 weeks, I don't have to pay the water. So that means that there is then a spare £25, which covers an internet and phone line, which is great. So you see, I put them in for 2 weeks. I put them in for 2 weeks, but they're only monthly. So you see, it's kind of like the same £30 from each budget. Anyway. That might confuse some of you, but I managed to get my head around it. Insurance. I can't afford to lose everything in here because I haven't got the money to rebuild it. And the government, funnily enough, wouldn't give me the money to rebuild it. So insurance has to be paid. That is at £26 per month. We've then got shopping as a whole, £30 per 2 weeks. Right? So that's £15 per week. Now, when I say shopping, I don't just mean food. I mean, this has got to include everything. So your cleaning products, your toilet rolls, anything else that you might need. Like if you needed deodorant, food has to come out of that. £15 a week. Where does this money come from? So let's see what's left over. Well, that goes on transport. So if I do get a job interview, I might have a spare few pennies to go and get the bus if it's miles away. If not, then, and it has actually been known, there is quite a long time walking to some of the interview places that I have to go to. TV license. I can't watch TV in here because I can't afford the license. That is just how the UK is. Yeah, I don't get why we have to have a license to watch TV. Clothing, nothing. I can't afford clothing. Commonly known fact. I've not been able to buy any clothing. Well, I've not bought any now since. When was the last time I bought clothing? I think it was January 2010. I think that was. And we're almost at 2013, so almost 3 years since I've been able to buy any new clothing at all. And as you can imagine, clothing does rip and shoes do fall apart. I can't afford to replace them. So there we go. Haircuts, nothing. Does it give it away why I always wear a hat? You know? When I do get haircuts, I'm lucky enough, or should I say lucky enough, to actually have hairdressers in the family that can do it for nothing. So, yeah, so haircuts, I'll put in at nothing. If I have to go to a salon for any reason, the money is normally given to me by a relative or a friend or someone. You know, there isn't money in my budget to go and get that done. So what's left over? Nothing. There isn't money left over from that. So let me see your budget from now on. Let's see what happens. To get people back into work, the government created, and I'm sorry if I have to laugh at this, but it's such a pathetic scheme. The government created what is called the work programme. Now, the work programme works in two different ways. You've got one side of it, which is the side which affected me, which is whereby if you've been what they call signing on, or if you've been claiming the Job Seekers Allowance for over 9 months now, then you have to go. Let me try and get this right. I think it's if you're under 20. No, it can't be. Someone else was. I don't know how they work it out which is which. But one side of it is you have to go on not training courses, but there are private companies set up which receive millions of pounds, and I am not joking about this. You can go and have a look at it. If you want to Google this, Google a company called A, the number 4, and E. Go and have a look at how much money they've got off the government, right? And then we'll talk, okay? So they take millions off the government to try and get people back into work. What do? Well, in one session, you'll have someone look at your CV, what they do in the job centre. But anyway, so this company looks at your CV. They will give you suggestions saying, well, you might want to not put that in. Oh, have you done this? Well, okay, you can put this in. Great. You know, any help like that, I'm going to be, you know, fully supportive of. The next side of it is that you attend weekly appointments, which is basically kind of like a job club. Now, what is a job club, I hear you say? Well, normally it would be with a person who is who may have been working in the recruitment business for quite some time, who can help you put to a possible employer what they want to hear. You know, really selling your good side. Didn't work like that for me. I was sat down in front of a computer for 3 hours and told, look for work. Now, when I explained to them and said, kind of already applied for these jobs anyway, I'm not finding any new ones today. I have my own internet access at home. That's how I look for work. Yeah, this isn't working for me. I was told that I still had to attend them, even if I just sat on a computer and looked at Facebook, basically. I still have to go. And do you know what the funny thing is? The government pay this company for me to go and do that. Really. They actually pay for me to go and do that. So, what the fuck? Really? The second side of it, and this is the side that people are really kicking off about, and with good cause, it has to be said, the second part of the work programme, and I'm not too sure about how long you have to have been unemployed for you to be put onto this. But it's basically where private companies have signed up to take people who are claiming the Job Seekers Allowance to actually go and work in one of their stores. And they call it work experience. Now, is it work experience? Well, not really. As we've seen several times over, and this is something which you might be able to tell is bubbling away inside of me here. There are several companies. What's the name of the one that's at the moment? Shoe Zone. Shoe Zone are the ones who are doing this at the moment. They're actually taking on some of these work experience people instead of paid staff over their Christmas period. Now, it is possible that people can gain paid employment over a Christmas period and make quite a decent living off that over the Christmas period. Even if it's only for 2 months, they can still manage to do that. Shoe Zone has got different ideas. They'd rather take on staff that they don't have to pay. That's all it boils down to. They don't have to pay. They call it work experience, but you are still expected to work the same hours, do exactly the same work as someone else who gets paid. So why is Shoe Zone taking people on over Christmas and calling it work experience? Because normally they would take on paid staff over Christmas and they would do exactly the same work. Why is that, Shoe Zone? Why? And yet you have these people who support this. You know? Let me just explain to you how things are with this. And it's exactly the same. If you have to go to the job club or you have to go and do the work experience, it is the same thing. If you miss one day, even if it is because of a sickness or, you know, if you got run over and rushed to hospital, you will be, what is it now? You will have your benefit deducted first off for a month. A month. So if I fall over and break my leg on the way to this job club, and I don't have enough credit on my phone to ring them to say, I'm not able to come, I've just broken my leg, and I'm in an ambulance on the way to the hospital, that gets marked down as an unauthorised absence. Even if I let them know later on in the day, saying I've got my leg up in a cast, whatever, it's too late. Goes through as an unauthorised absence. I then have nothing to live on for a month. If I was very unfortunate and that happened for a second time, it is now possible for me to have to go without any of this for up to 16 weeks at a time. Is that fair? No. If you were working, would your employer be legally able to do that? No. Are the Department for Work and Pensions legally able to do that? Yes, they are. Why? Why is that? There is a bit of greatness happening though, because I fully disagree with this whole work partnership and work experience shite that the government are trying to pass off as some sort of work experience. At the end of the day, an employer is going to sign up to the scheme because it's free labour. People have to go on the work experience because if we don't, we have to go without. Are you telling me that you could live on nothing these days? It basically boils down to it being forced labour. That's all it boils down to, people. Whether you believe it or not, that is it. So don't be disillusioned in thinking, oh well, you're guaranteed employment afterwards. No, you're not. You're not. And as was said by the Labour leader today, you're more likely to gain employment if you are not on the work experience scheme. Hallelujah, it's the truth. You know? I mean, okay, I'm still not going to go and vote for his party because they say that the scheme doesn't need any reform at all, but it does. In fact, there is quite a lot of reform needed. Now, don't get me wrong. I do fully appreciate when the government say we need to make it that if you are out of employment, you are going to be worse off. You are always meant to be better off working. Fully agree with that. But seriously, people who want cuts to be made, there it is once again. Well, it's on the fold. Shit. But there it is. £49.84 a week. How much would you like to cut off? How much would you? Would you like to cut it down to maybe 30 a week? Should we just round it off to 30 a week, and then I don't know, maybe I could just go without food a little bit more than I already have to. Kind of still unjustified that I don't lose weight, but I mean that is it. That is completely it. And I'm so fucked off with these people who go, well, you're obviously not looking for work. What? How can you form that opinion? With record levels of unemployment. I mean, what the fuck? Has everyone just quit the job and they're now deciding, oh, well, there is a recession. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll quit my job and I'll struggle to make ends meet. And, yeah, that'll be a great idea. Is that what you think is happening? Seriously, are you that dumb? It's funny though, isn't it? Because, I mean, the only ones that criticise the actual scheme are the ones who are in employment. I think that's kind of strange. Because not one of these people are actually having to live on benefits. Not one of them. So, like I said on my Facebook, and I said earlier on in this video, if you think that you can live on whatever budget it is that you manage to create out of the £49.84 a week, with your budget below, if you can live on that, do it. Prove us all wrong. Do it.